Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon. Question: symptoms, what are you experiencing? But before we get into the questions that I have here, I wanted to just a few observations and things about predictive programming that they've given us in the past. And one thing that was a very, very popular Netflix series, of course, was Stranger Things. It was like one of their biggest hits, right? And I must admit, I did watch it. And Stranger Things, one of the things that was always going on was when they were experiencing the upside down world was, well, one was flashing lights. But I believe what we've been seeing with flashing lights in the social media is simply an energy source, like a laser, but something bigger than that can easily make LED lights flash, because LED lights are set up like that, like in cars and light poles and so on. But the other thing, of course, is fog, the prevalence of fog within this movie, right? The upside down world always had this fog thing going on, this mist, right? And it's just an observation, that they've been doing this predictive programming with this, any type of supernatural movie that they put out, like the movie The Fog, another movie or another movie franchise, The Fog. And it says The Fog is a 2005 supernatural horror film. The Fog, right? Where all these spirits come out of the fog. Okay. Then you've got the movie The Mist, of course, which has all of these Stranger Things types of imagery as well in it, right? The Mist, The Fog. And there are a lot of other movies out there that have talked about this fog thing. This movie here is called The Green Fog. And then there was another one, well, there was a bunch of other ones. But really what I want to do with this video, guys, is I'm wanting to know a few things, okay? I want to know, did you experience I want you to answer questions in the comments, okay? If you experienced the fog, okay? If you did, what symptoms have you noticed since? And I know in another video I kind of asked for similar things, but there's additional information now. Okay. Are you hearing a tone? And I'll explain to you why I'm asking that question in a second. Are you experiencing any ear pain or ear soreness? And any other symptoms, of course. And where are you located at? Okay. Some of those questions, and there's more questions obviously, but that kind of gets things started. The reason why I'm asking you, are you hearing a tone, is Father works with me in amazing supernatural ways sometimes. I was on the phone a couple of days ago talking to Dan. He's my spiritual advisor that's on the show, on the Supernatural Show with me sometimes, along with Shannon. Oh, and speaking of Shannon, I'll tell you that here in a second. Let me tell you about Dan. Dan, I was on the phone with him and I was talking about Revelation 9, where, of course, it talks about the pit being opened and the fog and all of this. And it talks about an angel coming down with a key to open the pit. Well, a key is a tone, it's a frequency. And so I was on the phone talking to him, and as soon as I said the words listening for a tone or a frequency, my phone went off. I was actually talking to him on Miss Kim's phone, but my phone I had laying beside me, And what it did was it went off for an Amber Alert for a child that had been found hours previous. And it's easy to write that off as coincidence, but it literally went off right when I was talking to Dan about the tone, the key that the angel comes down with. You said, well, angels don't do frequency. What does the Bible say angels do? It says they sing. You get it? So, right when I said about that to Dan, my phone went off and emitted a frequency, the emergency alert frequency. And I've been thinking about it for a couple of days. And then this morning, I'm sitting on the front porch, and all of a sudden I realize I'm hearing a tone, a humming or whatever, in my ear. And I'm like, am I tripping out or what? Because I'm not above questioning my own self quite often. And so I'm like, I do hear a tone, and it's loud. And I just couldn't believe that all of a sudden now I'm hearing a tone. And now, of course, this tone could be coming from one of multiple places. It could be coming from the cell towers. It could be coming from the Starlink satellites that are floating above all of our heads that we know are up to nefarious things. Or it could be supernatural in nature and coming from an angel that came down to open the pit, or some other angel that the Bible talks about bringing down a key, right? So, Shannon. I text Shannon, and she texted me back and told me I think what she said last night, right before she went to bed, all of a sudden she started hearing this extremely loud tone in her ear that was making her sick and giving her a headache. And it was really loud, she said. And she said it wouldn't go away until she finally fell asleep. And then it went away after that, and she hasn't heard it this morning. And I find that sometimes things are not what they seem, and they can be much more important. Give you another example. I was sitting out on the front porch this morning, and Dan called, and I reached to grab my phone, and there were ants all over my phone. And I'm like, why are there ants all over my phone when it's cold outside? And I looked around, and there were no ants anywhere else, but just on my phone. There were like 30 ants, sweet ants, what they call sugar ants, on my phone, but nowhere else. So I knock all the ants off, and I answer the phone, talking to Dan, and I go back and sit down, and I'm laying the phone down so I can just talk. Got it on speakerphone because I don't like putting it to my head. And I look over, and there's ants on my phone again. And I'm like, what is going on? Why are the ants being attracted to my phone? And yes, I've seen the video of, a phone ringing, and the ants will start spinning in a circle around it. But why now? I don't normally have a problem with ants getting on my phone. Remember the movie Sale, where the people in the movie go crazy because of a phone call comes in, or they use their cell phone to make a call, and it just is driving people mad, right? And then they start walking in circles at the end of the movie around the cell tower. Should we just assume all this is just crazy and all coincidence? Alright, so there's the questions again. Did you experience the fog? What symptoms have you noticed since? Are you hearing a tone? Are you having any ear pain? Where are you located? Then the other thing would be is, what are your questions? Put your questions that you have that I'm not thinking of below. And then maybe I'll pick up your questions and use them for the next video. But then I'm also going to come back and we're going to look at some of y'all guys' comments on the next video. We will be doing a live show tomorrow. The Supernatural Show will be live tomorrow about 3. We're going to have a guest on the show with us. And, probably several people on the show, but a guest that's been on before, but he's coming back again. It's going to be Dr. Robert. He's the one that literally discovered a supernatural creature that flies in the skies. If you know, you know. If you don't, you know. I ain't going to explain it right now. He named them dragons, but we don't know what they are. But we do know they're supernatural. With that being said, that's not really going to be the topic tomorrow. We're going to be talking about a lot of things that have been going on. So I hope to see y'all guys on the show tomorrow. I hope you leave your comments. I love you. We'll see you